Yo, what is good, my anime people? What is good, yo? So, fairy tale. My God, there was so much information in this week's episode that they're like action. We didn't think you guys wanted action. We thought you just wanted good old fashioned heartphilia, you know, Lucy Brandish action. They didn't think we wanted a whole thing of, actual fights and stuff like that, heaven forbid. But pretty much with this week's episode, we learned just how much chaos is really being brought about throughout the world of all of the battles this week. We learned that um, the Pegasus are getting beaten pretty badly overall. Not to mention that anytime that we've seen any of these people fight, they have always been very powerful. So to think of how strong all of their opponents had to have been to be able to give them all a run for their money is actually pretty crazy to think about, in my opinion. So um, I like the instance of them pretty much just telling us that all of these fights that we pretty much could guess with the Spriggan 12 showing up and just how much they put the emphasis with Makarov. Makarov was our true person telling us how strong these wizards were, and I honestly don't think he had any type of communication with any of the other guilds that are showing up to help. So not only are the fairy tale members like in just utter chaos and like knowing that the people that are coming are disgustingly strong, but the flip side of it all, we look at who the supposed strongest quote unquote people are on our side and some of the more stronger people on the opponent side, and we learn relatively quickly that we are going to probably get absolutely annihilated, if not, just straight bodied. Because with seeing, the god, it starts with an S, God something. He was one of the wizard saints. Seeing him straight up standing over people's bodies and acting as if he had no real effort. Like, there was no effort that it took to do this. Not to mention, we don't see the two other guys that came. God Serena. I had to look at my pictures. This is why I take screenshots so I can get some of these names right or remember some of these things closer to time of the videos. So, with him having seemingly no scratches on him, his teammates are gone, but all of the Wizard Saints are still here with him. So, does that mean he absolutely bodies every one of them by himself and nobody even, helps him that was on his team? Or did they help get bodied and then he ended up taking out the rest of them by himself? I hope they go through and explain if they aren't going to show us what happened, because in the previews we see what looks like to be the battle that was taking place there. So I don't see why they wouldn't just flush out the whole entire thing of, telling us what happened verbatim, because if not, then we're going to be left just guessing how did this take place and where did the other people go that were supposed to be helping the God Serena guys. So that's one interesting part that I didn't really see in the episode get like tackled. So I was wondering what people were thinking about that. Not to mention, with Brandish's backstory and Lucy's mom and all that stuff, it was pretty dark. Not only was it like it sucks for what happened to Lucy's mom, but it also really sucks that the only reason why most of this stuff occurred was mainly out of a lack of communication, and even worse, a lack of having like trust in what some people might have done in those moments. It's crazy to think that we're in a day and age where Fairy Tale is back and they have more compelling things happening sometimes than other shows that are brand new and just now showing us stuff. So it's fun to see these things, but at the same time, it sucks to know that Brandish and Lucy could have been like two of the best pair of teammates slash friends, and who knows, the whole entire story might have been completely different if they actually had met each other. Oh no. And with them meeting each other, Lucy would have learned some more stuff about Aquarius. Like all these different things are what kind of draws the narrative of why it sucks that certain things just happen to happen the way that they did. So with that being said, I can't wait to see what comes of Fairy Tale as a whole, because not only did Fairy Tale have a good way of kind of putting out there that there's a chance that not everything they're doing um, was not necessarily for show, but they also say these things where they leave it to your own thought process, in the sense of if there's one thing that Natsu wants to do after the war is over, and now Lucy has something she wants to do once the war is over, what is stopping them from doing like a quick runoff shoot of what they're doing in the mangas right now, which is something I'm not going to spoil here. So, because if I do say it, and certain characters are getting like beat to crap, and you already know what happens in another story that's continuing, then it doesn't help. It would help in the sense of you wouldn't be surprised that certain characters are still around and stuff. So overall, we're in a position where I think the show can keep expanding on all of these different thought process and different ways of showing us just who or what. Oh, it's went around. Okay. Who or what can actually um, stop it or stop them, and by them I mean the Spriggan. Like who and what can actually beat these guys? Because if the Wizard Saints are being taken out by one Spriggan, it definitely tells me that there's an actual power level between all the Spriggans. Like some Spriggans just slap other ones, while some of them are just more catered to. They just do stuff to help in the grand scheme of Zera's plans of having some more just people on his side, compared to someone like the Master, who. Oh, and that's the thing. In this whole Wizard Saint versus the God Serena guy, the God Serena guy had someone on his side who can use all magic types and all this stuff, and for the show to make it seem like the narrative of that battle was one person took on all of them seems kind of weird. So where did the guy who can cast any type of magic from any type of way go? And not to mention that these Wizard Saints could have became stronger, if not better, if they figured out whatever this God guy did, because somehow he shows up, beats all of them effortlessly, and they all announce that he's stronger than he's ever been when they knew him, or he was holding back every time that a situation came up and he didn't use his full strength or something along those lines. Like that's pretty much what we're looking at here, and I'm just surprised that no one's actually as like very strong on the Saints, like comparative to him, which kind of scares me in the simple fact that we're probably going to be looking at quite a one-sided show when it comes down to oh no, I'm dead. Oh, I'm dodged. When it comes down just to the Saints, we do get to see that they're going to put up a little bit more of a fight, because it was really sad to hear them talking about the wood guy, and all he really wanted to do was see Mavis smile one time, and this man's like, oh, You wanted to see her smile one more time? All right, I'm killing you first. Like, wow, bro. Like, that's really how you feel right now? You're just gonna kill him off because you wanted to see someone smile. That's jacked up. So, Fairy Tail is definitely going for some dark themes here, and it's really paying off overall because the animation of it all looks so good and crispy. But yeah, overall, my anime people, I learned more about what was going on with Sword Art. It was just a recap episode, but instead of putting it fully as a recap, some places put it as like a special and not as part of the actual season itself. And some other people actually called it episode 18.5. So I don't know if when it comes out, that's how it's gonna be for real on DVD or whatever. But seemingly that is the case, that it is a recap. But the best thing about this recap episode of Sword Art, which I'll just talk about a little bit of because I'm about to get slapped in this ultimate, it's pretty much Kimito with Alice when he said, "I will tell you everything," literally telling her everything, and that's about the full 9 yard of where that's going. And not to mention, it's kind of from all of Kimito's perspective, so it wasn't that bad. I ended up watching it. I just didn't want to use it as a full-on review of me talking about everything that's occurred in the anime up to then, when you could just go into my videos and see that I've reacted to or recorded all of that stuff. So with all that being said, guys, I hope you have an amazing day slash night. I am about to kick back and relax. It's like 6 o'clock over here, so I'll probably play a little bit more Jump Force and call it a night, man. It's been a good day, and I hope you guys had a good one too. So with that, everybody, take care and peace. Oh my God, what's gonna happen? Oh, he almost got me. Nah.